my story starts when I was about 6 or 7 years old, and all of my friends at school were getting visits from the tooth fairy, but it never came to visit me. My little milk teeth, they just wouldn't come out, but that didn't stop my adult teeth from coming through, so I ended up with both sets in there, and that caused quite a mess. Things got pushed out all over the place. I ended up with the tooth in the roof of my mouth, which I had a great party piece I could spin a polo mint around on. It's an interesting one. And I ended up with a massive overbite. I could actually wedge a pound coin on its side between my upper and lower teeth. Don't try that one at home, kids. But things went on, and after the little game with the polo mint, things started to change, and the kids at school, as you can well imagine, started to come up with some rather different names than Graham for me. And it went on and on and on. And it began to really, really affect my confidence. I withdrew from a lot of my friend groups, and I just didn't want to be around people, and I just shrank away and spent a lot of the time on my own. And that then went on into later life, in my professional life, continued on into work, and as already mentioned, a lot of time in meetings I was quite afraid that people just wouldn't take me seriously. They'd just see this ogre in front of them and, well, what's he going to know? He can't take him seriously. But it wasn't just the confidence thing. It was surprising little things that were actually functional that really had quite an impact on myself on a day-to-day basis. As we've already heard, just something as simple as eating an apple or a peach, it was an impossibility. And again, it made things very, very awkward in social situations when we were out for meals. I was also forever biting my tongue and cheek, and so I was always with really quite sore ulcers in my mouth, and it often led to the air turning quite blue around me. And another one that when I went in to meet Sue, a question was posed to me, do you snore? Oh, yes. And in fact, it then came out, I really snored incredibly badly, to the point that people didn't complain about sleeping in the same room as me, they actually complained about sleeping in the same building as me. And I was like, well, what's that got to do with anything? And I was later to find out. I had been through orthodontics in my teenage years. I went to see a local orthodontist who tried an array of treatments, but to no real effect. And they basically got to the point when I was about 17, I think, that said, there's nothing really further that we can do for you. So I was left with the prospect of being this weirdo ogre for the rest of my life. So I was consigned to that, and away I went. Then in my 30s, I had changed dentist, and he suggested that I go and see these guys at the Eastman, and I met Sue. And another guy, Mr. Tim Lloyd, the surgeon who operated on me. They proposed a set of treatment which involved a lot of orthodontic braces and various things that I hadn't had before, different types, and proposed surgery. And although several people had offered to break my jaw previously, on this time I actually really wanted them to do it. And I'm so glad that they did. It was really quite a pain-free process, and at times quite entertaining. I remember many occasions with Sue, us trying to goad each other into who could come up with the most hideous colour combinations for all the elastics on my braces, much to the annoyance in the wedding pictures of my sister. But we went through the treatment, and it really has transformed me, and it's the particular kind of things that are being researched by NFORC that have turned my life and brought me back to feeling normal. And had I not felt normal, I wouldn't be stood here in front of you today. I'm quite comfortable with the way I look now, and I was able to go out with a great deal of confidence and start meeting other people and socialising a lot more. And I was then able to meet Anna, who's now my wife, and Charlie. So it really is important, the work that NFORC do to help make people feel normal and create families.
This is absolutely brilliant, creating the world's first ever research centre dedicated to this most socially sensitive part of our body, which will collect major data and organise research to improve patient treatment worldwide. Well done, Saving Faces.